And we're back, chat. Okay, up next would be Pink Horseneck, who's playing mid Plat Ana. So let's go back here. Swap these to Plat, and while the code loads, we'll change the name. Let me ping them real quick. So, Anna. And we are probably going to go over a much simpler concepts, since this is like, 1,000 are lower. But we'll just see, like, the ideas are the same. Prioritize healing your tanks. I expect your mechanics to not be as good. And make sure you use your cooldowns aggressively. Those are the basic concepts for Ana nowadays. If you have someone else, prioritize the DPS. If you do have like a Mercy, Briggs, and Lucio, prioritize tanks, and your cooldowns are more aggressive than your counterparts on Moira and Baptiste, so you have to use them aggressively to win fights. Please choose. You're actually a little far forward, which is not your fault, but yeah, this is like the fact that you have to be this far forward to heal your rank is a very big problem. Because you are just very exposed, right? People can shoot at you from here, maybe a flanker from here, like this Doomfist is doing. So it's like you have to be really careful when playing here. I would much rather you played literally up to the statue, because at the very least, if the enemy comes this way, you can do this and play with your tanks, right? So if you are going to have to play aggressive because your tanks are playing aggressive and you could not heal them otherwise, at least always play around the statue so you can always keep away from the line of sight of, well, the enemy, because in this case, you're just being targeted because you are standing a little bit far back. So positioning, you should be here. This is not bad because he can take a step and you are out of the way, like this is okay. Playing here is okay, because again, if they come that way, you just take a step forward and you are healing your line, which is your priority. The thing is, you just keep backing out into the open, which is very unfortunate. If you kept backing out and went all the way back here, let's say, this would be okay, right? Like over here is a little dangerous because you have this. So you have to play either all the way back here to deny them this island. Like they still got this, but they've got to commit at that point and your rank can just come back. Or you just play here and you're like, well, Ryan, if you need healing, you have to step back. Alright, I do want to learn to read what they said, which was, we held them so well on defense, but on attack we couldn't even get a tech. I'm not sure what else I could have done to help us. I feel like I was anti people and sleepy people, but I still ended up dead because our tanks would barge in and I wasn't getting any help from the other support at all. It was a mess. Any tips on how I could have changed the outcome? Let's look at it. That's actually, like, this isn't, like, you missed the sleep, yes, but this is an okay attempt. Like, if you sleep this area, they cannot push for free, and she's a big target, she didn't have the bubble, you let your Ryan die, which is a bad idea. So what happened here? You go for the sleep in this area, your Ryan is okay for now, so I'm actually okay with the sleep in this area, you just barely miss, which is unfortunate. Now you just go back to healing your tanks. You need to heal your Ryan, he's full health, he's about to die. Heal your Ryan, you could have saved your Ryan. By the time, by the time you even look at the rank, he's already dead. And you still throw the nade out. So that's just bad prioritization, like your rank was dying, your Sigma was full, and you still went for the Sigma, which is very unfortunate. That just happens sometimes. Don't do it. I'm telling you, prioritize your main tank. Because if you have like a Rhine, a Monkey, it doesn't matter. A Rhine, a Monkey, or maybe even a Bull, but mostly just Rhine and Monkey. Rhine and Monkey are the most frontal team tanks that exist. They require more healing than the others, and they take up more attention than the others. Sigma can hold one angle really well, while Ryan can capture the attention of the entire enemy team. And they are very different, and Ryan will always need more healing than Sigma. Sigma has more range. He's got a personal shield, basically. But like the range is so important. But he also has the kinetic grasp to get out of sticky situations. That nade is not that good because it only hit the Zarya, and she's got, or she should have. She doesn't have the bubble actually. So maybe if your team was able to capitalize on this, it would be good. But she's not really with her team anyway. This would be a really good kill if your whole team was looking at her. And you try to sleep again and it just doesn't work. I feel like, yeah, the nade did get some value, but you could be getting a lot more value. Another teamfight is lost. This is lost, by the way. This is just lost. That nade survived. Like, this is the best nade you've thrown so far. You hit both of your tanks and their tank. So it's like a really good nade. You have a Doomfist behind you, though, so you should... Oh, that's a Genji, not a Doomfist. You missed the sleep, but the idea of sleeping is good. Like, your mechanics need some improvement for sure. Do we actually hold this? Like, now they have no tank. But you just go out in the open and die. And this is a lost fight, right? You should not need to go into the open. And this is the second... Hello, Radbot. I'll do you guys at, like, 3 after this one. If you have codes for me, that is. I feel like this is the second time you go out in the open, right? Where you can be shot for free, rather than just stay inside. Like, why are you walking into literally the entire side of the enemy team? Like, the entire line side. Sideline of the enemy team. Like, I know your Ryan is low, you're trying to heal your Ryan. I know why you do it. You send me a copy of Discord, good. I know why you do it. You're trying to heal your Reinhardt, but this is suicidal, and you die for it. Because you're literally walking into a Zarya pocketed Genji Baptiste side of line. That side. Yeah. So again, I feel like in your case it's maybe a matter of positioning, and I should say this, it is very important that you stay alive for as long as possible. Right? There are very, very few things that you have to, well, not, sorry, it is one of the most important things you have to take into account when going for your positioning. First, I usually say 3 things, right? Like, first is the sideline. So again, yes, it is very important to have a silent on your team. That doesn't mean you need to put yourself in danger for it. If you're playing, let's say here, right? If you're playing here, you have a line of sight where your team is fighting, right? I know I usually say that the silent is the most important thing, but that doesn't mean you have to force yourself to get a line of sight on your team. So long as you are watching the direction of your team is fighting, right? Where your team is fighting, like if you're playing here, you can see the point. If you're playing here, you can see the point. It is very important that you are safe. This is suicidal. Yes, you have to come all the way here to heal your tanks if they're over here, but it is a lot safer for you and for them for you to play here, and they just take a couple steps back, and you can heal them. Or even here, right? Like, if you want to play here, which is not as good, it's a lot more open, but maybe you just want to be further away from, like, this area, you can be like, hey, this is what I can see. I have a good sideline. I should be able to see my team most of the time, unless they go out of the line of sight. Right? So this is a good sideline. You don't have to pressure yourself to get a better, quote-unquote, better sideline by sacrificing the other things. The sideline is the most important thing. Sorry, the sideline is the most important thing, but it doesn't mean you should sacrifice everything else for it. Like cover, you need cover. You are going to die without it. And safe retreat, it is the most sacrificable. But what I mean by having a good sideline is, this is a really good sideline, right? You can see everything. You can take care of the angles if you need to. You can see this. You can see behind you. The problem is you're just in the open. You're gonna get killed. So is having this silent worth being here? No, you just give yourself a slightly worse silent where you cannot watch everything at once, but you can still see a lot of things and you have some cover, right? This is still not ideal because it's very open and they can just flank and get on top of you. And to get out, you need to go into this tiny corridor and then further away. I would much rather you just play here, where you have, again, a good sideline, right? But you have cover and you can go inside or you can go back and bait them with cover. Anywho, my point is, don't sacrifice your life to just get a better sideline than your team. Because, yeah, this is technically a pretty good, like, if you're playing here, this is technically a pretty good sideline. But if the enemy is already pushed past the choke, and your team is here, this is not good. Because you're just going to die. If your team is holding here, then this is pretty good. You can hit your team, you can watch out for flanks, maybe watch the high ground a little bit. You can rotate safely here, or maybe go inside. So if your team is playing here, then this is good. If your team is playing here, or maybe even here, right? Whichever two of the things, because the team pushed past that choke or this choke, and they're here, this is bad. You should be backing out. Anywho, we lose the point. You're rotating to the high ground. I'm not against this, by the way. This is solid. The big thing, by the way, the big reason I said you should play below and not on the high ground is because this is a really good map for like a really good sniper to get to you or a really good flanker to get to you. Maybe flank all the way around. It's a little open in the sense of if someone does come to the high ground. But so long as you are aware and drop right away, if someone tries to contest you, you're probably fine. Reload. You try to go for the sleep and you miss the sleep, which is unfortunate, but you drop, which is definitely the right call. Now you're playing with the idea I suggested earlier, which I do really like. Though I don't like you stepping into the open, like you should just play here. And be ready to back out if their team pushes. That's a good night though, that's a really good night. Yeah, we killed the Genji and we killed everyone and we should be fine. Remember what I just said about this sideline? Don't be in the open. You're very close, you're just literally with your front line, you should not be this close. I know you were probably looking for an aggressive nade, but you should not be this close to the front line. A single Doomfist punch can wreck your life. You are still a sniper, you should play a little more defensively. Like, this begs the question, why are you here? Right? You're gonna tell me, well, I'm further away from the choke. But the thing is, if someone comes for this flank, and they see you in the open, this is not going to make such a big difference. Whereas if you are here, right, or maybe here, or maybe here, you could at least get in cover. From here, if someone flanks you, you're just dead. Like, if the Genji gets behind you, you either hit the sleep or you die. If the Doomfist gets on top of you, you hit the sleep or you die. It's very open. If they had someone with more range, they could just kill you from up here as well, or even up here. Like if they have a long range hit scan, or even a Hanzo, a really good Hanzo. So you're just playing very, very upfront, and it's not very safe, because if they take a flank, you're just the first thing they see. You go for the nade. Again, I don't think this is the best nade, but you're still getting some value out of them. You are not yet at the level where I can be like, you need to get more value out of the nades. So long as you're getting some value out of your cooldowns, that should be enough. Nano, you're Rhine? If you hit a sleep, you barely miss it. Unlucky. That would have been a nutty sleep. Nano, you're Rhine? Nano, you're Rhine? Another Rhine? You Nano Sigma instead. I don't think this is the right call. Like I said earlier, Sigma is a lot more survivable than Reinhardt. Nano, you're Reinhardt. At least kill your Reinhardt right now. Prioritize your tanks. You have to prioritize the man. Okay, we're getting healed from Valkyrie. Reload while you have the downtime. Okay, blade behind you, and you die, right? You just die. By the way, look at the flank they made, right? Hold on, hold on. Where does its Genji go? I want to see that. There he goes, right? So you're not in a bad position per se. You are kind of backing out. You should be a little closer to the cover, and it's okay. But this kind of speaks to the idea I was speaking of earlier. If you are playing here, this Genji can just go on you and kill you. You don't have a way out. Where you are right now, you can at least try to run away, and maybe you'll get lucky if he doesn't get a dash reset. Like, you can just go towards your team here, or even back. Nade in the ground is solid, and you die anyway. There is no big salvation against blading Genji when you're playing Ana with no support. But, you know, maybe you'll get rest. This is very winnable. You don't get rest, but we just win this fight anyway. Heal your Rhine, heal your Rhine. Okay, that's good. Decent nade because you need to keep your Reinhardt alive, right? So this is solid. You turn around to watch the flank. You could reload while you do that. While you turn around to watch the flank, you could reload. Little nitpicky for your rank, but you know, might as well point it out. You're going to try to sleep the Doomfist, I believe. You should try to sleep the Doomfist. You should try to sleep the Doomfist. Just sleep him, just sleep him. This is not a great Doomfist, by the way. And you missed the sleep. Like, this Doomfist is not a great Doomfist. Like, this is a decent rollout. Not even a decent rollout. I thought he was going to go higher. The fact that he gets 63 damage on the slam is really bad when you can get up to 125. I thought he was going to go for the... There is a trick you can abuse, I think, with the lines that sends you flying up. Then you can slam, like, slide around here, slam down. And that does, like, a lot more damage. Also, the fact that he did not shoot at you there. And he did not shoot at you here. So this is not a great Doomfist. And he's still pretty scary, but he's just not a great Doomfist. You don't die to him. But yeah, that basically exemplifies a not great Doomfist. You do, however, walk into the open. So, this is very specific to this situation. But if you hear Doomfist going for his ultimate, you need to find something like this. A very steep corner where you can hide. Right? So all you should do is get closer to here. Because if he drops on top of you, you are only a couple steps away from being safe. And you have the time to do that in the time he comes down. Instead, what you end up going for is the middle of nowhere. Of course it's going to kill you. Like, look where you end up. Also, the fact that you're jumping, so you cannot change your trajectory in the middle of the jump. Remember what I say, jumping is really bad. If you had not been jumping, maybe you could have snuck away a little bit and maybe not died. You would still have taken a lot of damage, and then Doomfist can follow up and kill you. But you would not have died right away. So stop jumping. Jumping bad. But also when, and this is very specific to this situation, jumping is not, or never jump. But very specific to this situation, go for a corner. Even this corner is decent. Because if he drops on this side, like, this is the corner, right? If he drops on this side, you can be here, and it will, like, you can see, stop most of the head. Or you can come to this side, and it will stop most of the head. Anywho, this is the ideal pattern for that. Just like a corner you can dance around. You get rest though, that's solid from your Mercy. Heal your Vine, nade is good, we killed them with solid job. Great sleep, that's a really good sleep. That guy should die, yep he does. And we hold. And you're still playing in the open a lot of the time. I would rather you play closer to cover. And die not this far forward. That's a good shatter though. You could throw the nade into this shatter. Since you are so far up, you could just do it anyway, yeah. He was going to die anyway because he got charged, but you know. Doomfist top right. Okay, he just drops. Heal your Reinhardt. I'm okay with you picking out of here because their team is here, right? It's like kind of like we're taking a fight on point on defense. You can pick this way if you really have to, because you're just picking. You're not actually standing in the open. You're just like, pick, heal, go back. Instead, you just go back to heal your Rhine, which is solid. You top your Mercy off, and thus far, like, your priority hasn't been bad, except that a lot of the time you are going for a Sigma instead of Rhine. And when it comes to tanks, your main tank will always require more healing than your off tank. So when you have to prioritize a tank, always go for the main tank. Because they will always take more attention and require more healing than the off tank. Off tanks are kind of designed to be able to survive by themselves. Sigma has a shield, right? Like, if we think about them one by one, Sigma is the most survivable tank, I think, by himself in the game. Maybe with Wrecking Ball and Roadhog, but he's really good at surviving by himself. He requires very little healing, because he's got a shield, a personal shield. This is not a team shield. He's got the grasp, he's got a lot of range. If someone gets... I scrolled by accident. If someone tries to get on top of you, on top of him, he can rock them. Sigma doesn't need that much healing. D.Va doesn't need that much healing either, because she's like very big on armor, right? She's got a ton of armor, a lot of mobility, usually played with Rhine, Ball, or Monkey, which means that she will usually need less healing than her counterparts. Maybe not Ball, but yeah. She can just go for the health packs, and she has Defense Matrix, which is one of the best defensive ability in the games, in top of insane mobility. Zarya is probably the off-tank that requires the most healing. She's only got 400 health, she's got only a single 200 HP bubble. So when it comes to off-tanks, Zarya is probably the one that requires the most healing, but she can always get away with the bubble, so she will not die if she gets pressure. And she has a lot of damage, so whatever is putting pressure on your Zarya, she can deal back as well. And if you think about Roto, has his own healing. Anywho, that's just to point out that I think you're kind of prioritizing the tanks correctly, you're just prioritizing the wrong tank. That's a decent sleep attempt. That's a great kill from right. We don't even need to nano this anymore. Now we do. Now we don't, we just use flags. Macro behind you, I could hear his footsteps. You could Q, I think you help him. You are clearly getting out of there. You hide, solid, your Mercy's dead, but you're alive, so you hit really well. Well done. You just missed that nade. Do you hit the sleep? You hit the sleep. You saw good sleep. Nano your Reinhardt. Good nano. Wait, hold on. So you do have the confirm map, which I'm okay with you having the confirmation button up if you require to make sure it goes to the right target. But that even more just tells me that when you nano the Sigma earlier, you should not have nano the Sigma. This is a good nano though. Like, the fight is very close. We're kinda even. They are using flags. Doomfist is in your face, which is very unlucky, but you can just try to get away. That's a really good pick, actually. Try to heal your Sigma, because like I said, your Rhine doesn't need the healing right now. So, in this case, Sigma requires the healing more than Rhine. It's a matter of priority in the time. Okay, so heal your Sigma, heal your Sigma, heal your Sigma. Throw the nade. Not at the Sigma, not at this Sigma. Throw it like here, so it gets both of them, but doesn't get eaten. Please don't tell me you shoot it. Okay, it doesn't get eaten. Good job. Doomfist behind you. You try to go for the sleep, I presume. Sleeping Doomfist is always a good attempt because he's got such a big hitbox. But you do throw it very far away. Maybe practice your sleep accuracy a little bit. Remember what I said? You could go to for the teleporter as well, by the way. But you just keep jumping into this and you're gonna die. Like, at least this time you were landing the jump, so you could jump away again. But it still does a ton of damage for you. And Doomfist should be able to follow up. Like, you survive barely, and Doomfist should be able to kill you if he's decent at all. You nade because he's coming for you. You heal. You do survive. You should not have survived. Like, I don't know how you actually survive. So first thing first, you just barely managed to jump away. Which, again, jumping is not a good idea. You can just walk away. You almost die. He just goes for the punch. Instead of just shooting you and killing you, he goes for the punch into the wall, misses it, then shoots the wall. He lets you use nade, doesn't uppercut or slam you. And do you remember what I said about not being a great Doomfist? Yeah, don't take this guy as an example. Your Vine just charge him and he's dead. So, in particular, stop jumping. But that wasn't bad. Your sleep accuracy definitely needs help though. You've hit some decent sleeps, but in general, when you have to aim them, you haven't gotten a lot of value. That's a Reinhardt. Now you know that the Reinhardt is here. You could try to, I was gonna say to sleep the Reinhardt. This nade, I'm very question mark about. Like, yeah, even if you hit the nade, no one can really pressure this Reinhardt by himself. You are not going to be able to. The sleep would have been good. You stop the Reinhardt from pushing. Your Ryan maybe has time to go push it. Sleep, good sleep. Great sleep, in fact. Rather than, by the way, he probably would have died anyway because counter charge, your Ryan is very on point. Just counter charges the Ryan. He would have gone on the ground. You have Torjon, you have Sigma, right? You can nade? No, you can't nade because you used it earlier. But he would have been on the ground and we could have killed him. Now you just throw the nade. We secure the kill on the Ryan, and that's good. Your Ryan is playing really well, by the way. He even stopped the Mercy, body blocked the Mercy from going for the rest. So, okay, you said the defense was good, and the defense does seem pretty good. And you've made some mistakes. This is one of those mistakes. You are trying to 1v1 a Reinhardt. Do not 1v1 a Reinhardt. I will tell you that, but it should be okay. Even though you died, it should be okay, because your team just had... Yeah, we just have a big advantage in terms of people on the actual payload. Yeah. Don't stop walking though, just keep going until it, yeah. So yeah, overall it seems like your play wasn't bad. There were definitely some mistakes. You need to stop jumping. Your nades are okay. You could be getting more value out of them, but I think your nades are okay for now. At least at this rank, you are getting enough value out of them that they could be winning fights when you hit one tank, both tanks, maybe at fragile DPS. I think you're getting enough value out of your nades. Your sips haven't been great. You hit a couple good ones, but most of the time they just miss. And yeah, your positioning definitely also needs help in the sense of stop standing in the open. Okay, now we have Sombra Genji, which is very low damage until it's not, because you can just get EMP Nanoblade and kill everything. So again, it's very low damage until, you know, you use the ultimates and then you just win. It's a really good idea when you only need to cap the point once, right? If you, like, this is actually a really good idea. Because you just combine the ultimates, use them together, EMP Nanoblade, they die, we cap the point, and then we barely have to go any distance. Like, we only need to go here. So the enemy is going to be struggling to come back and try to defend one by one, and we just win. I really like this idea. It's not the best when you have to make several fights in a row, because it is basically like, we're going to put all of our eggs in this one basket. But in this case, if this basket is very likely to work, and we should be able to just win with that single basket, if we do things okay. Anywho, that said, let's focus on your play. So you heal the Rhine, you shoot at the shield, You shoot at nothing. Stop doing that. This nade could be good. Don't walk back. Remember what I said about jumping? This jumping is making you take a ton of damage. You could have just sidestepped the fire strike. If you stop jumping. Stop jumping because it's making you eat a lot of damage. And the nade was really good. Like, this is a pretty good nade. We could try to push them. If had it gotten the Rhine too, it would have been excellent. And maybe, just a free fight win. But still a solid nade. You reload, that way you are in cover, so I like it. You ask for healing, which is definitely the right idea. The Mercy tops you off. You're watching the flank. And I know you're not having a big impact, but that's okay. You could be going forward to heal your Vine right now, which is I think what you should do. There's a Doomfist behind you. Great sleep into a hack. So this guy should be dead. Don't ignore this Doomfist, just go back and throw the anti-nade on the shot. Like, this guy should be so freaking dead. Between you and the Sombra, you can just kill one person. Then the Vine is almost dead too. We can just win this. How do you lose this fight? Well, I know how. You ignore the Doomfist. You should be killing this Doomfist. Like, the nade does 60 damage, plus one shot does 70 damage, leaving this Doomfist at, the sleep also does 5 damage, so it would be 135, he's at 115, and Sombra hacks him and kills him. It's pretty simple. He's a sleeping target. Instead, you just kinda throw the nade at nothing, and this is a bad anti-nade. And the Doomfist just gets hacked. And Sombra goes for the headshots. But is he going to get a kill? I'm sorry, Sombra. What are you doing? You took the time to go for... By the way, the Sombra is doing the right thing. She's like, this Doomfist is going for the back line. I'm gonna hack him. You slip him and the hack is even easier. But why does she not go for the head? Maybe she tried to and fucked it up? Because she's not getting those headshots. He's still hacked though, like this should still be a kill. Melee him, just melee, okay, he does die. Your Vine dies. So that sleep is really good, it actually got you a peg. Good sleep. How does your Reinhardt die? So good sleep. Your Vine is low, you throw the nade and it gets no value. Your Vine's being pressured by a Roadhog. You should be healing him. You should be healing your Reinhardt. Heal your Reinhardt. Just heal him. Heal your Vine. You miss. And then he gets fire struck. So you could have saved him. You just missed a couple shots. This is still very winnable though. Like we have a Sigma. No, it's not. Just random hands or headshot. That was so winnable though. Random cooldowns thrown out of nowhere. This allows fight though, so it's kind of okay. Stop jumping because you are eating a ton of damage. Like you've died, almost died, eaten fire strike, eaten a fire strike, all because you just keep jumping. Stop jumping. Also, your Sigma is dead. Just get out. Okay, you reload. We are preparing for the next fight. You top off the Genji, this is okay. Remember what I said by the way, we should be on pace for... We did just waste basically 2 minutes, but we should be coming up to these ultimates in like, at the most 30 seconds, I would like to hope. And we should be winning with those as well. Decent nade on the Rhine, now just heal your Reinhardt because he's gonna need it. Keep healing, keep healing, keep healing, okay, your Sigma is dead. Probably let's fight. No! Why are you doing that? I just explained that we've got Nanoblade coming up. EMP Nanoblade is our win condition. Don't nano the Reinhardt. Even if we lose this fight, it's okay. We are playing for EMP Nanoblade. Your Vine is getting out as well because Dragon and the Sigma is dead. Good night. You can sleep to follow up too. It's just Sombra is dead and you've wasted your nano. You get booped away too, but yeah, that's very unfortunate. That's just very unfortunate. Like now we have Blade, but we don't have nano. and they're going to throw the emo down. And this is funny enough. If you nano the Genji, he can slice to the emo with one single slice. But if you don't nano the Genji, one slice is not enough. He's got to use two. That said, we have Valkyrie, so maybe instead of nano, which would have been ideal, we can EMP Vault Blade, which is not as good, but still good enough. We just need to wait for the Sombra to have EMP. We are looking for the Doomfist, I believe. You can heal this Sigma. Keep him alive. Okay, good. Keep healing. That's a really good hack. Sleep follows up. You missed the sleep, which is unfortunate. Again, I feel like you should practice your sleep accuracy. Your sleeps have been pretty bad, mechanically. Don't need the Rhine Shield. But then we go for the EMP. Do we Blade? We EMP Flux into the Blade, into the Shatter, into Valkyrie. How do we not win this? We EMP 3 people, we stun 1. To be fair, the EMP was a little off time with the Blade, but it should still be enough. You are trying to hit your team on the point. Don't remember what I said about going out in the open. This Sunlight is not worth your life. You are going to die to this answer. Instead, just play here, or just like... Right, your team is going through the right, so you can definitely follow them, but you should probably be here. Or, the better way, you come here to heal them on point. Remember what I said, so long as you can see some of them, it's good enough. Surviving is very important. If you die, your team has no healing. This is not you, this is you. If you die, your team has no healing. You only have Valkyrie, which, to be fair, is not terrible. But you really should not be in the open like this. And if the Rhine tries to chase you, you can still escape this way. Instead of just, walking in front of a Hanzo, jumping so it's even easier for him to kill you, and dying, I presume. You die to the... I'm sorry. Did that arrow just bounce back? I do when I watch that. By the way, this Hanzo is not even targeting you, he's just shooting at the general direction of the enemy. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, the Ana is there, I shoot the Ana. It looks okay on his screen, so But it definitely did kinda go back. So that's unfortunate, but yeah, you just walk into the open, don't do that. This should have been one fight, but now we lost 2 people. The Blade gets no value because of the emo. Mercy's healing instead of damage boosting. So we just kinda fuck up everything and we get counter shattered. That well, we used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ultimates and we got 2 kills. No, 1 kill. And I will say, it is partly, or, well, no, we used 5, we didn't have nano, we used 5 ultimates. It is definitely partly because you just didn't have the nano to use in the Genji. Like, let's look what the Genji does. So the Genji slashes because he doesn't know better. He should slash, tries to... Oh my god. Oh my god. What? This definition case has been press Q to winner? Sorry, what are words? To be fair, this is the definition of, hey guys, let's build our ultimates and play kills to win. Yes! But you have, thank you for the follow, Vesarian B. Or Vesarian B. Either or. Yeah. Let's just say yeah. Pressing Q is not enough. You have to have some semblance of coordination. Is there a Q for both reviews? You just post them on my Discord. Vesarian B, okay, good. Let me just get the Discord. There's a review channel on my Discord, which I'm taking for today, and I think there's only like 2 reviews in the queue for after today. So yeah. Okay, you die because of Hanzo, and it took us 2.5 minutes to build all 6 of our ultimates, and now they are gone.
I need healing. I need healing.
Just regroup, by the way. Is that on you again? I'm gonna say yes, minus? Minus? Like, if I had to put blame, would it be over 50% on you? No, definitely not. It would be maybe like 20 or maybe 15%. Because if you have nano, then Genji can just one-shot people and get the dash resets.
I need healing.
Also, the Genji still missed a lot, but you know. You should not have used the nano, that's basically it. And now we have Junkrat and Symmetra. And now they just, like, this is the problem. Now they just have more ultimates. Are you sure Genji would not just waste your ultimates if we didn't nano him? You have to trust that he will not. Even, like, let's assume you don't nano the Genji. Let's say you nano the Reinhardt during that fight, right? Let's say Genji goes out of your line of sight and you don't nano the Genji, and you nano the Reinhardt. That's still really good value. Everyone is seeing beat. We go for a Shattered Flags. It would have been really good. You just needed to have nano. Keep nano after last fight. Good night. Do you try to sleep the Doomfist? That's a very low Doomfist, but you do not. Does he get pooped back in? I'm sorry, hold on. So he goes for the rollout, which gets him a little bit of damage, which is solid. But now he has no cooldowns. So this Doomfist should die. He doesn't, he gets booped away by the Junkrat. And he goes back in? Don't ask me why. Anywho, sleep the Doomfist. Just sleep him. Just sleep the Doomfist. Use your sleep and do. Okay, he's just dead. We don't even need to sleep him. He's just dead.
Watching your back.
Here's again, and here's the problem. We use so many ultimates. Well, this one's dead. But they still have like 3.5 ultimates. Well, 2 about to come out. 3 and 2 about to come out. So it's a very big problem for us. They use this, which is a lot of damage now coming your way. They use Valiant Dragons, and we are just probably going to lose this fight. Because they press Q 3 times. Thank you for the follow, Cloudy. Even though Doomfist is dead, your tanks are split from the rest of your team by the dragon and the window, which you should probably not stack, but it's okay. Your diva is dead, you are dead to the dragon, please don't stand in the dragon. And now we are just one more fight, and they have 2 ultimates. And we have a single nano.
I need healing. I need healing.
Like, just nano your Reinhardt here. Like, your Reinhardt's going to take damage, just nano him. We don't even manage to touch. Just nano the Rein anyway. But, you nano the diva, but, you know. The fact that we only got 1 set of ultimates in 4 minutes is a big problem. If we're going to use 1 set of ultimates, let's coordinate them. Right? And this is your fault. Not entirely. Like, the fight would and should still have been winnable, but you using your ultimate before anyone else in the team, where the plan was clearly we just EMP Dragon, we all press Q at the same time. Sorry, EMP Dragon Blade. We all press Q at the same time and win. You should not do that. And yeah, most of my review on the offense has been, please don't nano when your team is preparing for a really big combo. But, you know, I don't think you played badly. I do think you could have played better, like I said. If you had hit better sleeps, if you had made better rotations, stop standing in the open, that you would not die as much. I do think you could have had a bigger impact. But the big lesson is, if your team is setting up ultimates, don't just use yours. On the defense, again, just not playing in the open is a big idea. Oh, and stop jumping. This has gotten you killed several times. And caused you to take damage several times, so stop jumping too. Alright, let's take a short break, and then I'll be back with the next one, which should be a team bot. So we'll just do a team bot. I'll be back in 2 minutes.